say they want the power. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud down, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego die the political, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. Man of the masses, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego diary political, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. This man not the off in mind, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. Aha. Now you not done here, all these bad politicians, then we call themselves politicians. Mayegun la wa mo la mo do. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Hello there.
Mayegun la wa mo la mo do.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti de o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Mayegun diary. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Thank you very much for joining me this evening. Read the caption of the broadcast, share the broadcast, drop your offering like this. If you are watching this live, I mean, not a replay and not a premiere. If you are watching this live, that means you are about to go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow morning and discover that the criminals in Nigeria, they have passed what they call the Waterway or Water Resources Bill. We need to tell you something about that tonight. So important that the highlight of it, the one that kind of puts everybody in a little bit of paranoia, a lot of people in paranoia, is that they are planning to take people's indigenous people's lands around all waterways in Nigeria and reallocate them to Fulani herdsmen who have become the Fulani terrorists in Nigeria today. Well. There are more. I'm not even saying there is more. There are more than that. And you know something? The reallocation or what have you, which the bill, when it becomes law, which empowers a commission put together by the federal government of Nigeria to either lease your own land to you or chase you away from it and reallocate it to whoever they want to. That one is hidden behind. There are many other dangerous things they have put in it. So share the broadcast. Invite your friends. And if you are watching this as a replay, you're probably not going to be so shocked. Or you know something? When the news breaks that they have either passed it or it has failed again, when you are watching this, rewatching, or if you are watching this again, then you understand what is Waterway Bill? What is Water Resources Bill? Why is everybody talking about it? Tonight, I will do my best to make you understand the danger that APC, Egbekegbe, represents. Nigeria no get future.
Yes, right. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. And yes, right. Presido bá rúfin o. And yes, right. Gómìnà gbówó jẹ. And yes, right. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. And yes, right. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Thank you very much.
Òkúra olóṣèlú. And yes, right.
Join us on Telegram if you want to be part of the Yoruba Union, the group of concerned Yoruba sons and daughters, home and abroad, coming together to face their fear, to face our worst fear. What else can Nigeria do to us? So united, organized, and in fact, well-informed, could indeed change the tide. So those of us who believe in this, who are ready to put in everything, yes, you can join us and be part of it. Non-violent as usual. Share the broadcast. Thank you very much. This is the biggest part of this conversation. Okay? And it is the most important because the aftermath of what they are about to do, the ripple effect of that, whatever you are witnessing in Nigeria today, everything that has made you feel like Nigeria is this or that, today will be a child's play to what is coming. Nigeria is under siege. The siege of dark, evil-minded people. Their intention and their aim is to wreck this your Nigeria. And none of this move is in the interest of any part of Nigeria. And I'll tell you, when the Fulani terrorists started their killings after the Boko Haram, it was immediately after this APC, Egbekegbe, came in. How did we know that the government of Nigeria, led by Bokwari and his lieutenants, they were those who were giving cover, protection to disarmed terrorists? We have seen so many patterns that gave us everything we needed to know. Their immunity from prosecution, and then the inability of the survivor or the survivors of their attacks to fight back or push back simply because the same security that failed to protect them when they were under attack, those security will show up the moment they are now ready to fight back. All this showed that the state is behind them. That's not just that. There is also there have been so much effort within the Boko Haram's government to legalize the crimes of these terrorists by justifying their criminal act on the climate change, the desert in Lake Chad. They blame this on so many, and their solution for peace, including Nigerians that they have killed and slaughtered for no just reason, right, is that let us give them land. They need water to water their cows. And if we want peace, what is wrong with us? So every move, every effort that they have pulled failed, because in every of their move, lies are the lies that they are hiding from the people. if you want to show us that you love Fulani so much, with all the billions and trillions that they have borrowed in your name, stolen for themselves, some of them now used to finance this terrorism here and there, and they know themselves, none of them found it worthy all this while to build an irrigation system in northern Nigeria, build ranches, show example, because it's not all about land. It is not all about cows. It's not even about the Fulani who have become the terrorists that they are giving guns to. So they came with all different policies disguised on how to trick the people to part with their lands. How could the government be, how could the government be so heartless? Heartless to the point that watching our own citizens being slaughtered by terrorists that have become untouchable. And all you could do is to tell them that we just need to placate them. So they brought RUGA, people rejected that. They brought a cattle colony, people rejected that. Then when they realized that people are talking too much, they brought in social media bill, free hate speech law. All of this to try to control the rage of the people and threaten them with imprisonment. Just going to kill you, we imprison you. Don't talk about this. You are the one trying to create problem. We are trying to create a solution. The solution is to part with your land. Simple as ABC. So how do you make peace like that? It's impossible. However, not to Boko Haram and gang. Today that you are hearing about Waterway bill or water resources bill, you will think it's about one bill brought by maybe the somebody from the house, a lawmaker who is in a way overseeing, like, performing an oversight function in the Ministry of Water Resources. Of course not. The Waterway bill was drafted by Boko Haram just a month after they took over power in Nigeria in 2015. But because Saraki and Dino were the ones who are active in the 8th National Assembly, so they rejected the bill. That was when people started getting interest. Like, what is in that thing? Let's see what is in it. When people started seeing the content of it, people screamed, "Ha! Waiting be this? What kind? I mean, who wrote this? Who even who sort of thought about this kind of evil thing in this Nigeria?" Now I'll tell you, there's this new report which now says when it failed 2 times during Saraki time, you see, during this Lawal, rubber stamp Lawal, it has already failed first time. It was rejected after so much pressure, noise, all of that. But normally right now you will think Nigerian lawmakers are supposed to be in recess, holiday as usual. But the new report is that they have started calling some of them back, especially lawmakers, senators from northern Nigeria. You know why? Waterway bill, na Boko Haram bill. And what Boko Haram really wanted from it is to take over the border, the landed, what do you call it? The land between, the shore bank, from your river bank, the bank, river bank, I've been a bank river. River bank rather. Anyway, so the land between the water and 10 miles away from the water is going to be taken over by the federal government of Nigeria. Not just that. The federal government of Nigeria have no water, like so many states in Nigeria, if not all over Nigeria, no public water. Majority of you have to resort to drilling your own borehole. Not just that, maybe even fetching from the river. Now, drilling your own borehole, you will pay for that. You will need a license that you have to be renewing every year. If you are one of those who always the people that are working on the sea, like fishermen, You want to go and fish on your water in your village. If they arrest you, your family may not see you again because you are fishing on the federal government of Nigeria's water. In fact, you are trespassing. If right now you built your family house or your own personal house near any water in Nigeria right now, river or ocean or wherever, it no matter, you are going to start paying a different kind of rent because the land will no longer be yours anymore. Let me tell you something about this all of this their report that they brought out. Then I will try to put some little context into it. Okay, so from that report, they say even though with all these killings and all of that, yeah, they are planning to pass the bill tomorrow, which is going to be Wednesday, 28th of December, 2022. Okay, so they said, I'm going to read this report. I'm going to jump some of them because of the keywords I want to pick, right? From this, it was like, it will be recalled that on December 23rd, a mass burial was conducted for 40 people murdered by suspected Fulani herdsmen in Malagum and Sogwan communities in Kaura local government area of Kaduna State. Now, several analysts agreed that the struggle for water and fertile grazing field. Right. Sorry, one sec. That, several analysts agreed that the struggle for water and fertile grazing fields by nomadic herdsmen, many of whom are not Nigerian citizens, but find their way into the country via long-forgotten cattle grazing routes, is at the heart of the killings. Now, following multiple accusations of genocide by victims of these massacres, a comprehensive 2022 report titled Silent Slaughter, Genocide in Nigeria and Implications for the International Community provided significant backing for claims that these killings are ethnic and religious in nature. Now, fast forward this latest one. So they said, against this backdrop, opposition has steadily mounted to the Water Resources Bill, which was first introduced to the House in 2020. Some have expressed a belief that any attempt to hand over regulation of water bodies across the country to the federal government is driven by an ulterior motive. Others fear that the federal government, led by Bokwari and self-identified Fulani, will eventually allocate such water bodies to its kinsmen herders to the detriment of legitimate landlords and aboriginal communities. The controversial bill, which has been repeatedly thrown out of the National Assembly, makes it illegal to engage. Now, listen to this. So, the bill says it is illegal to engage in any water-related activity, such as fishing, sand dredging, land reclamation, borehole drilling, etc., without a license. This license, so you would think it's like normal license they give to you in your different state or different town. No, it's different. This time around, that land and the water belong to the government, Federal Fulani Government of Nigeria. This is no longer you on your land paying something because you are making money from dredging. No. They would have to be the one to now say you have the right to dredge here or not. If they say trespassers, you know how it be now. You don't trespass on government land, even if you are in your family land. Your house that it is built there, they will give you time to move the land and to move the house, demolish them and you move, or else they will chase you out. Because it's government land. They can decide to say, continue to live here for now. Oh, no, we don't want you to live here anymore. Oh, yeah, pack. And you know how it be for Nigeria now, Abi? Wait till they pass it. Now, you will no longer, so they say without license. It also grants the federal government the authority to seize control of all natural water bodies and tax people for using them. Do you understand? They will take it over, not your state, not your local government, nothing. These are government, federal, Fulani government of Nigeria. And they can tax you for using any part of it. I'm coming. So, analysts have previously warned that if passed into law as intended, the implication of the bill is that millions of people primarily in the South, whose livelihoods depend on water, will be forced to pay dearly to use their hitherto free, God-given water resources. According to the Nigeria Multidimensional Poverty Index 2022, published by the National Bureau of Statistics, a total of 133 million people, representing 65% of the population, are living in poverty. The report places the prevalence of multidimensional poverty in rural areas at 72% of the population, compared to 42% of people in urban areas. Now, NBS, National Bureau of Statistics, states that 70% of Nigeria's population lives in rural areas, which are home to 80% of Nigeria's total poor population, many of whom are disproportionately likely to rely on water bodies for their survival and livelihood. So now here is the clandestine plot for accelerated passage. I'm still going to give you a background though. Just wait for it too. This is the latest, the plot. A top member of the House of Representatives, who asked not to be identified due to the highly sensitive nature of the matter, said the government has already mobilized lawmakers to expedite the bill's passage during the ongoing festive period. According to the source, the decision to put the proposed law through accelerated passage is said to be one of President Muhammadu Buhari's parting gift to his kinsmen, the Fulani herders, who have been having difficulties accessing water for their animals. Explaining the timing of the move, the source said, in quote, "You know that we are already in the Christmas and New Year mood and festivities, and many lawmakers, especially Christians, have traveled out of Abuja. Many have even traveled outside the country with their families, and only very few of us are still around. Ordinarily, the National Assembly did not go on recess because of the need to pass the 2023 appropriation bill, and that is why some of us are still around." Continue. He said, "But during the weekend, we heard that our colleagues, especially from the north, were being mobilized to turn up for plenary on Wednesday, tomorrow, where we are billed to pass the 2023 budget. The plot is that the leadership of the House of Representatives will bring up the water bill during the plenary and ensure that it gets an accelerated passage, after which it will be forwarded to the president for assent, who is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamile. Remember that. Now, another person also speaking, a member of the House from the ruling APC, who also spoke to our correspondents in confidence, said the bill, which has been rejected many times by Nigerians, is an offshoot of the failed RUGA bill. During Saraki time, they called it RUGA bill. Now, during the Lawal time, they are calling it Waterway bill. Don't forget that too. Now, in his word, this other lawmaker, he said, in quote, "We at the Southern Caucus of the National Assembly believed that the water bill is an extension of the plot of the government to dispossess the people of their land and water bodies, which they inherited from their forefathers. Our northern colleagues have been bringing that bill, but it has always been resisted by the Southern Caucus. We see it as a ploy for them to come and take our land. Our position is that the federal government cannot come and take over water in the states from people whose lives depend on it." He continued, "That is why we have resisted the bill anytime they bring it. But this time, they want to pass it by hook or crook. We heard that they want to bring it during plenary on Wednesday. when majority of our members will not be in attendance, and hastily pass it through third reading. We have reached out to as many members as we can to attend plenary on Wednesday so that we can stop them from taking any decision on the bill. The Southern Caucus of the National Assembly is together on this, and it has nothing to do with party affiliation. Now, here is the water bill explained, okay? So the National Water Resources Bill is sponsored by Sada Soli, chairman of House of Representatives on water resources, a bill written by the executive, but it's the one, somebody has to sponsor it. Now, is from Kaita Jibia constituency of Katsina State, Bokwari's state in Katsina. So it is headlined as a bill that seeks to establish a regulatory framework for the water resources sector in Nigeria, provide for the equitable and sustainable development, management, use, and conservation of Nigeria's surface water and groundwater resources, and for related matters. Now, this is their description of the bill. A section of the bill, which is the section 3, subsection 1, read and states, rather, in quote, subject to the provision of section 2(1), a person may, without a license, take water from a water source to which the public has free access for the use of his household, or for watering domestic livestock. Use water for the purposes of B. Use water for the purposes of subsistence fishing or for navigation to the extent that such uses is not in any land, blah, blah. Don't let me bother you with that. All manner of nonsense that says before you take water from anywhere, you must get license. You know, normally if government provide you water, right, you will pay for that water. That's how it should be all over the world. That's how it is, Abi. Now, you see these rogues, they have to pretend that, now they are saying that before you do anything on that river, you must go and collect license. So they are the one who can now tell who and who have the right to go onto that your community river now. Or you may go to river, from river to jail. Now listen to this other part of it, the real background of it, when they changed the name to National Water Resources Bill 2020. It is called Aggressive Land Grab Meets Pork Barrel. Guess who wrote this? David Undenyi. Now listen to this, so word for word as well. Oh, what is behind Water Resources Bill? And then I'm going to take you through some level of personal, emotional, and then a mental ride. All join. So everything I have been telling you since, I'm going to put them into practice before you. We're going to do it together. We're going to take a tour of what is waterboard, what is underground water, where and where are likely going to be affected. In reality, what does this even mean? I'll take you through that. But let's go through this reading, which you can find a copy of it under the Newswire, NGR. Yes, listen to this. Now, they said the heading is Aggressive Land Grab Meets Pork Barrel. Analysis of the National Water Resources Bill 2020. It starts off innocently enough. In quote, a bill for an act to establish a regulatory framework for the water resources sector in Nigeria, provide for the equitable and, sustainable development, management, use, and conservation of Nigeria's surface water and groundwater resources and for related matters, blah, blah. Now, let's go to the next one. None of these gives the idea that this is a piece of legislation that contains everything from the door to a blatant state-backed land grab to a familiar constitutional violation could, from the social media bill to an unbelievable granting a proposed regulatory agency the open-ended power to do anything that in its sole opinion, it thinks is necessary to achieve its goal. Central to all that is wrong with this bill is the establishment of a new regulatory agency called the Water Resources Regulatory Commission. This new body, which Nigeria has apparently never needed until now, takes on itself the task of regulating all inland, interstate water resources in Nigeria, including surface and groundwater bodies. The apparent regulation inevitably boils down to rent extraction through a plethora of new licensing regimes for everyone from commercial catfish farmers to sand dredgers and borehole drillers. As bad as the idea of the Nigerian state extracting more rents from an already squeezed populace sounds, well, it pales into insignificance compared to what this bill later reveals itself as an alleged attempt to write a land grab agenda into Nigerian law. Where the proposed RUGA policy from 2019 did not scale through in the face of widespread opposition, this bill attempts to effectively write the entire RUGA policy into law through the back door. 1 second. I don't know if you are actually following, and I don't know if I'm actually communicating as well. However, I haven't received any complaint of any sort of lagging on it or interruption. So I think we are good. I wish I could share the screen with you. It probably would have been so brilliant. I love that. Now, they said the 3 bad faith indicators behind this bill can be summed up as follows. It seeks to create fresh government recurrent expenditure at a time of extremely weak public finances, and it further seeks to extract rents from individuals and businesses for simply using freely available water resources. It focused on smuggling the unpopular Fulani RUGA policy proposal into law, and it contains unconstitutional clauses explicitly written to shield its executors from facing liability over the mayhem it will almost certainly unleash if it passes into law. What they are doing, they know that it's going to create war. Now, war, here you get. What they are doing is to make sure that they are not held responsible for anything that happened after this become law. When they say they are working so hard to break up Nigeria, Nnamdi Kanu is just alerting you to be ready for it and be prepared for it. Don't become shocked. I am shocked. And they said they want to kill him, and some of you are waiting for the show when they are going to kill him to satisfy your ignorance and foolishness, Abi. These are a bunch of criminals whose only job is to finally destroy Nigeria, and they are not relenting. God help them tomorrow. Let's continue. Right? RUGA policy. So, the part of raising more money, collecting taxes from all of you using water, especially in Yoruba land. Anywhere you have water now, you will pay. This is not even the river now. All of you that have water, drilling water from anywhere, you pay. Okay? Then that is called shakedown. Like they want to shake you down. They want to rob you. But that is a bigger picture. But the part of the shaking down, I think that is summarized already. Okay? So, let's just go to the part that is always at the centerpiece of the whole thing. The land grab, discrimination and all that. Right? So, they say open discrimination. And then RUGA through the back door. in part of the law, in part of the bill, are you listening? There is a section in that part of the bill. I will read that to you now, okay? They said it is hidden away in section 71 of this bill, right? They said hidden away in section 71 of this bill is a stripped down version of the Fulani RUGA policy, hiding in plain sight. Now, what is that section in that bill? For you to understand what is that water bill now, okay? Apart from them shaking you down for whatever water you use, this is the one they pretended, the RUGA policy that prompted the water bill in the first place. The RUGA policy rejected, that turned around to become water bill, a section in that bill, section 71. Section 71, subsection 1. Read or state, the commission may, following public consultation by order published in the Gazette, declare an area to be a groundwater conservation area in cases where the commission is satisfied that in the public interest in which in such area special measures for the conservation of the groundwater are necessary for the protection A, of public water supplies, B, of the environment, or C, for water supply used for agriculture, industry, or other private purposes. And 2, section 71(2) states, right, the commission may impose such requirements and regulate or prohibit such conduct or activities or in relation to groundwater conservation areas such as the commission may deem necessary to protect the area. All of the atotonu, all of the I'm saying things that they are saying in that paragraph is that that commission have the power to now say, you see this, from this place to that place is going to be federal government conservation area. All of you move. We don't want you here anymore. That is the RUGA policy that can then say, we are now using it for these social purposes. And none of you should question it because you are trespassing on there. That your land, where they bury your mama, bury your papa, bury your old man, your grandpa, everybody, they will become the government land. Just if the commission just feel like. Now, the power there is that it's not just around water this time. It could be anywhere or any part. All they have to say is that this area is now government area. Under this so law, you have to move conservation area, Fulani conservation area. Now, listen to the explanation. It will be recalled that the RUGA policy, which was shelved in 2019 following unanimous public condemnation, proposed to set aside well-irrigated portions of land across the country for the specific habitation of itinerant Fulani cattle herders. While that policy was rightly panned for effectively trying to give complete government subsidy backing to a private business activity, Section 71 reintroduces the exact idea without mentioning the word Fulani, RUGA, or cattle. In fact, no attempt whatsoever is made to explain what qualifies a parcel of land to be reserved as a groundwater conservation area. What qualifies a place? What would you say? This is what we describe. Make a place, groundwater conservation area. No description. But it's not about conservation area, ladies and gentlemen. What the public interest referenced refers to, and what activities it will mandate or prohibit on such reserved areas. It simply states that it may declare any piece of land whatsoever as a groundwater preservation area based on its sole and unexplained interpretation of what the public interest is. You listening? Now, this looks like an attempt to smuggle in the unpopular RUGA policy wholesale without mentioning that the commission, in fact, is legally empowered to confiscate land and reserve it for the possible use of nomadic herdsmen based on this innocent-looking section of the bill. Now, in section 29P, a hint of what actually lies behind the curtain appears with the inference that the commission wishes to protect some unspecified water users from the activities of its licensees, who are also individual and commercial water users, Fulani terrorists. When they tax all of you to use your water, that same bill allowed the committee to exempt some people from paying any tax for using the water. Are you following? I don't know if my voice is cracking. Or I know they speak loud. This is RUGA. Now, let me read that section 29P for you. Section 29P, or K, rather. Let's start with K. It said, protect licensees from misuse of market power by other developer and service providers. First, they took your crude oil. They took your crude oil, took all your resources. That water that seems to be free, they took all your resources, redistributed them to themselves. You are all working. They say, oh, Nigeria is a rich country. Nigeria is supposed to be this or that. All of you are saying all of that, but you know the people who have shared your resources and they are holding on to them. Now they want to take your water as well, take the land, redistribute them, and they are hiding this in plain sight. Are you with me? It says here, in fact, I'm going to jump that because there's something else I'm going to show you. Or better still, right? The emergency power for the commission they want to put together. Section 67 and 69, however, are where this bill sheds all pretense about being interested in efficient water. Again, this is not about water for you. This is not about to make water better. This is not how to provide water for all of you. No, it has nothing to do with that water for you. It is them. It's all about grabbing every land that surrounds all the waterways in Nigeria, redistribute them to the Fulani terrorists for the water use. Any of you that want to now use that water, you will have to pay for it. Pay through your nose. Now, this is where they say if you read section 67 and section 69 of the bill, this is where they no longer pretend about the intention of it and to show you this is not about water for you or water conservation or reservation. It is about the RUGA. It said, I'll take that again. Sections 67 and 69, however, are where this bill shed all pretense about being interested in efficient water usage or achieving wash targets. In section 67, the bill states that if the commission decides that an individual has a supply of a supply of water in excess of their needs, it may reduce the amount of water they are permitted to take up under the terms of their license. You see that your borehole, the one where you take your money drill, the one where your papa take a money drill, your mama take a money drill. Now, they have to make sure that maybe the water, your water tanker is too big. You cannot pump all of that water anymore. They will give you a ration of water to use because they don't want what happened in Lake Chad to happen to the water they want to redistribute for the Fulani terrorists in Nigeria. Now, listen to this. They said emergency powers in case of shortage of water. Section 67, subsection 1, where the commission is satisfied that by reason of an actual or anticipated exceptional shortage of water in a hydrological area, or by reason of accident or other unforeseen circumstances, or serious deficiency of water for essential domestic purposes or damage to the environment that now exists or threatened in any area, the commission may, hey, declare that an emergency exists, and B, direct a person who has a supply of water in excess of his need to reduce the amount he is permitted to abstract under the term of any license and general authorization. Now, you have to know how much water you can pump now. Okay? Now, any person who fails to comply with the directive of the commission issued pursuant to the provisions of subsection 1 of this section commit an offense. So 3, an order under this section may require or authorize, hey, the laying of pipes and construction of works on any land, B, the entry onto any land by officers or agents and commission, and C, such other measures at the commission may consider necessary to overcome the shortage of water or effect. All this blah, 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 it's all about the real control. Let me go and show you something. What does all of this mean in the real sense, in real life? Would you like to see? I'll show you. So let's take a tour of Nigeria. In reality, do you get what I mean now? I'm going to go on to Google Earth, our usual Ifa Olokun, as I kind of love to say, Ifa Olokun Lowowa. What does this mean? Waterway. A lot of you currently have the idea of what waterway means, because, like they said, the biggest population of Nigeria live in the rural area and then rural communities, which are far, far away from the cities. 75% or so, they say. So, in the real context, we can trace water. Right now, we are somewhere. All of us are inside this circle, okay? Somewhere. This is art, okay? Now, let's say we want to see what that water truly means in Nigeria. And then in reality, there are people around them. I'm going to use this search, right? Which is going to, luckily enough, will take us to, what do you call it? Will take us to somewhere in Kogi. Okay. Let's wait for it. Right. Now, if we take a bit of a pool here, right? You can have an idea. This is the Niger River, which is popularly called the River Niger, and River Benue, where they meet, and the rest of that. I don't know if the picture is clearer on your screen, but in a way, let's manage it. So this is water. And when they say waterway, these are those who are living next to this borderline waterway. This is somewhere in Kogi. And then when you follow it through, you can see, you know what I mean? You can see what it means when they say you have to find 10 miles. Now, 10 miles from this water, yeah, is going to be, now, just picture this, right? This is real life, okay? So picture this and say, when they pass that bill tomorrow, and it becomes the law, and the crisis that will follow, and the millions of people that are going to probably understand this later, for the sinister and whatever move or intention, so to say, right? Now, picture this. So it simply means all of these people who are living 10 miles away from the bank of this water, they are going to be living there. It doesn't matter where they are or state. They're going to be living there as tenants of the Fulani government of Nigeria. And you know what that commission means? The commission is to protect the interest of the Fulani terrorists that they have been protecting all this while anyway, right? Now, look at this. This is the big part of where you can say, oh, big river. Now, if you come down, yeah, if you begin to go down like this, you will see the path, which mostly, I believe, one sec. Just that line And all these parts that are part of Nigeria, all this ocean will become theirs, even though they are currently the ones controlling the Nigerian water, or the Nigerian part of, what do you call it, yeah? So let's go to where some of you can probably really relate. Let me say, for example, let's say Lagos. Just picking up areas where you have water. Yeah? So, give me a sec. Sorry, I should be probably just be talking and all of that, but you get the drift. So, which simply means that you see all this path where you see water and the rest, right? So it simply means that you are all going to become the tenants, yeah, the tenant of whoever they bring in or relocated to your bunk, or anywhere they found land that they believe that will provide what they want, including the deep creek water system. I mean, from surface to the ground. You see all these places, by law, they will automatically, you see how they're going to cut across. So you see them, they are not just going to be, most of these are areas that are like mangrove areas, you know, people, deep forest or deep, what do you call it, mangrove areas that really define the green forestry of the southern part of Nigeria. Do you get that now? So all of these are waterways. They are not oceans. You get what I mean now? They are not like oceans. But you can also see that our people are settled. This is Ogun State. Our people are settled, right? As they have been for, you know what I mean? So you see all these axes, every water there and everybody around them, you are going to wake up and realize that they are gone. So, of course, there are people, representatives of they call themselves the Southern Caucus of the National Assembly. Majority of them who have already been away from all of this, and some of them are being called back. But if whatever happened at the end of the day, I just hope we all, in a way, remember how this happened. They have been pushing it for so long, and this seems to be their last chance. The last chance to set the stage for the Nigeria's implosion. I want them to do it. You get what I mean now? I want them to do it. I actually want them to pass it. Maybe this will contribute to how many people would have to really wake up to the reality of what they have dipped their hands and themselves into 7-8 years ago. Do you understand? And none of you is actually going to be safe when it comes on. You aren't weighing your options. I understand. But whatever it is, do not turn around later and say, well, we didn't know. God, why did this happen? Now you do know. I'm going to quickly take a bit of a break. I'll be back in a minute.
Eyeball to eyeball. Mawuna yang peru egelege delabo, mawuna yang peru egelege delabo, mawuna yang peru egelege delabo, mawuna yang peru, mawuna yang peru, mawuna yang peru. I will say it before you. I'm not going to be afraid of anybody. Nothing. Those of you who understand the Quran, I don't know how to speak other language. Those of you who know how to understand, the wrestling time has come. The wrestlers have come. It is when we see, we know it is correct. Who will talk? I have told everybody, Melembe. No amount of blackmail will change me. You cannot. Who cannot? There's nobody I cannot talk to. Not one. I will speak before everybody, and I will tell you. So, all those who are trying to cause confusion amongst us, it's their business. When you finish causing confusion, you get the ticket, you lose the election. What have you achieved? Have you achieved anything? Certainly not.
So, the update on the Waterway and gang, you can call them the G5. They have taken it closer to their destination, you can say. But before I come back to Waterway, although you may not understand Hausa, but I haven't really seen the rage, the anger, like we have seen in the past when anybody says something about Kolu or Atifku, right? Kwakwanso said that the people should know that. Okay, you know what? I'm going to play the video. But from what they told me, he said, which I believe my interpreters, was that he was telling people that he is not Tifnumbu, that he's peeing himself like a kid. And he is not Atifku, who is always good as a spare tire. Something the Yoruba will call Obalola, that will never become the king. But for those who understand better, please listen to this.
To zan zaɓi ko ɗaya. Wa'annan fa su kansu matsala ce kuma sun shiga rubabbun jama'iyya. Dukkaninsu wa'annan mutane da kake gani, dan mutane ba sa son gaskiya ne. Su kansu ba sa son gaskiya. Mutanen nan sun gaji. Mutanen nan ba za su iya ba. Kawai ƙara-ƙara ake yi, ana tattara mutane ana tafiya da su. Wasu daga ciki haka san harkar rayuwa. In ka girma ka kai wani lokaci sai ka zama yaro. Wasu da yawa daga ciki zaka rinka gani wandunan su ma a jike. Wasu suna tafiya zaka gansu sai suna rarima suna kame Allah bai sa ma abubuwan da suke kusa ana gani ba. Waɗansu mutane wa'annan ƙasar ina gaya maka kuma dama ce ta yau din nan in kirawo in jawo hankalin 'yan jihar Katsina musamman da 'yan jihar Arewa. Kar su yi kuskure. Idan aka yi kuskure duk abin da aka ci gaba da yinsa, domin wasu cewa suke yi fa waɗansu gani suke gani wannan abin da ake a ƙasar su gani suke saboda duniyarsu daban gani suke yanzu jama'a daɗi suke ji a kamfen ɗinsu ba suke cewa za su ci gaba da abin da ake za ma su ƙara akan halin da ake ciki. Wannan na jawo hankalin 'yan jihar Katsina da dukkanin al'umma da suke sauraron mu da su yi hattara, kar a je a yi kuskure a sake faɗawa cikin tarkon da al'umma ba za su fita cikin daɗi ba. A zaɓi cancanta, kuma ni a debate ma da muka yi na gaya musu cewar duk ran da aka samu wani a cikin wa'annan mutane wa'anda ka faɗa da ma wanda baka faɗa ba ya fi Rabi Kwankwasa cancanta ta harkar ilimi. Ana maganar mutane suna maganar ana ta rigima akan sun yi sakandare, wani ya yi diploma, ni PhD ne fa da ni civil engineer ne fa ni na ruwa shekara ta 17 akan dam, shekara ta 17 ina channel, shekara ta 17 ina aikace na hada mutane ruwa a jihar Kano. Na zo na shiga shekarar siyasa shekara 30. Na rike mukamai, kowa an ka tambaye shi me yayi, gwamna me yayi ko mataimakin shugaban kasa. Mataimakin shugaban kasa aiki ne, sufaya taya, yaushe zaka zo kai wani aiki ka ce kai kayan ba experience ba komai.
Sanata ka ambaci
kasa. Don't worry. Sacred Socrates Ahmed is going to join us, and then it's going to help us out, me and you. But that's the only thing I remember that he said, that Kolu, the P in body, like an infant, and then Atifku is a spare tire that can never be compared as, that can never be really useful on its own. However, reacting to this water bill or waterway bill or whatever they are calling it, is this another, should I call him another Delta, Niger Delta, that state? Okay.
Our people at the National Assembly to throw away this bill. It is bad. It's not in favor of anybody. Which means that if you want to dig a borehole in your compound, you have to go to RUGA and obtain license before you do that. And you cannot bath again in the stream without paying tax to the federal government. I don't support this kind.
Does that explain it a little bit for you? Or to you? Anyway, don't worry. Let's talk politics. You know, where the wiki has been everywhere and it's been sort of very outspoken when it comes to how he believed that they used, they showed him what being a Nigerian and all of that at the national level really meant.